Life is no joke. It ain't no comedy show. It ain't no stage where you just laugh off the pain and skip to the good part. Life is raw. It's ruthless. It'll hand you scars before it hands you blessings. And if you think it's all fun and games, you already lost. See, people out here living like tomorrow is guaranteed. They move like the clock ain't ticking, like the reaper don't got their name written already. But the truth, every second you breathe is a gift. Every heartbeat is a loan. And when that debt comes due, you don't get an extension. That's why you gotta live heavy, live real, live fearless. Because life is no joke. You ever notice how the strongest people you know are the ones who've been through the most? That's not an accident. Struggle carves character. Pain builds armor. Betrayal makes your loyalty solid. You don't learn strength from comfort. You don't learn wisdom from easy days. The world don't teach you through laughter. It teaches you through loss. But here's the thing, that pain ain't meant to break you. It's meant to wake you. Every tear you shed, every night you spend staring at the ceiling, every moment you feel alone, it's molding you into something greater. It's a test. And if you pass, you'll see that nothing can touch you. But don't get it twisted. Dreams don't come just because you got vision boards or because you say, someday. Someday don't exist. It's either today or never. Everybody want to shine like gold, but nobody want to go through the fire. Everybody want to eat, but few want to starve for the grind. Life don't reward the lazy. It don't respect the fake. It only bends for the relentless. And I'm going to say this, death is real. That's the only truth no man can dodge. One day, your name going to be whispered instead of shouted. Your photos going to be memories, your words going to be echoes. So the question is, what you going to leave behind? A story worth remembering, or just dust in the wind? Life is no joke. It ain't meant to be wasted scrolling, faking, or hiding. It's meant to be lived loud. Speak your truth, chase your fire. Love with everything you got, and fight for what you believe in. Because when the curtain drops, ladder won't save you. Regret won't save you. Only the life you lived with purpose will. So stand tall, stay real, push through the storm. And remember, life is no joke, so don't play with it. Life don't hand you respect, you snatch it. That's the first rule of survival out here. Too many people sitting around waiting on life to treat them fair, waiting on folks to recognize their worth, waiting on some miracle to pull them out the mud. But let me tell you something straight, ain't nobody coming to save you. Not your boss, not your friends, not even your family sometimes. Respect, success, love, they don't get handed out like charity. You got to step up, take yours, and if you don't, somebody else will. See, the world don't play fair. That's the lie they sell you when you're a kid, telling you if you play nice, follow the rules, and wait your turn, then life will smile at you. That's a trap. Life is a battlefield. Every day you wake up, you're stepping onto ground that's already stained with the blood of those who quit, those who played soft, those who let the world walk on them. If you ain't ready to fight for your space, then don't be surprised when you get stepped on like pavement. I'm not saying you gotta be cruel. I'm saying you gotta be strong. I'm saying you gotta stop waiting for handouts. Stop waiting for somebody to notice your greatness. Stop begging for a seat at the table. Build your own table if you have to and sit down like you own the place. Because truth is, nobody respects the quiet beggar. They respect the one who demands to be heard. The one who moves with so much conviction that the world can't ignore them. Think about it. Every person who ever changed the game didn't wait for permission. They didn't sit politely hoping somebody would call their name. They forced the world to say it. They spoke, they acted, they pushed, even when nobody believed in them. And that's how they carved their place in history. That's how respect is earned, through boldness, through grit, through proving every single day that you won't be overlooked. But the problem is most people too scared of rejection. They too worried about what others think, too afraid of failing, too addicted to comfort. They waiting for applause before they even take the stage. That's weakness. You think life gonna clap for you. You think life is standing in the crowd, cheering you on. Now, life is that shadow that pushes against you, that voice that tells you you ain't enough, that storm that keeps trying to drown you. And if you ain't got the guts to push back, then you'll sink. Respect comes from the fire inside you, not from outside approval. If you live your whole life begging for validation, you'll be a slave to other people's opinions. And the worst prison in the world is the one you build in your own mind, chained up by what they think of you. Freedom is when you stop asking, do they like me? And start saying, I know who I am, And I'm going to move with power, regardless. That's when people start respecting you. Not because you chased it, but because you demanded it with the way you live. And let me be real, the world smells weakness. Just like a wolf can smell fear, people can sense when you don't believe in yourself. That's why confidence is the sharpest weapon you got. You walk in a room with your head down, hoping nobody judges you, and you already lost. But you walk in with your shoulders back, with that energy that says, I know my worth. And people feel that. You ain't even got to say a word sometimes. Respect follows power, and power comes from belief. But belief ain't magic. It ain't something you fake. It comes from putting in the work. You want people to respect your grind. Then grind. You want them to respect your mind. Then sharpen it. You want them to respect your word. Then keep it. Too many people want respect without doing the things that make them respectable. You can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. And when your actions back up your words, when your hustle matches your ambition, people won't have no choice but to acknowledge you. Now let's talk about love, approval, all that soft stuff people crave. Truth is, love is powerful, but love ain't free either. People love you when you stand tall, when you got a backbone, when you show them you ain't afraid to be real. Approval. Forget approval. That's a game you'll never win because somebody always going to disapprove no matter what you do. You live for approval, you'll die disappointed. But you live for truth, you live for self-respect. And suddenly, the right people show up, the right kind of love finds you. That's why I say life don't hand you respect, you snatch it. And snatching it don't mean being reckless or stepping on others. It means refusing to shrink yourself, refusing to be silent when you got something to say, refusing to let the world treat you like you're invisible. It means showing up bold every single day with the mindset that says, I belong here, I deserve this, and I won't apologize for it. So if you're waiting right now, waiting for that boss to recognize your work, waiting for that friend to support your dream, waiting for life to get easier, stop. Stop waiting, start taking. Stop begging, start building. Stop doubting, start claiming. Because the world don't move for the timid. It moves for the relentless. And the truth is simple. If you don't stand up and grab what you want, life will pass you by and you'll end up another story of what could have been. Life is short, life is brutal, and life is unforgiving. But it's also full of opportunities for the ones bold enough to claim them. Respect ain't given, it's earned. And the only way to earn it is to rise up, fight for it, and snatch it before it slips away. Pain is the real teacher. Success don't teach you nothing but comfort. It makes you feel good, it makes you smile, but it don't make you grow. Comfort don't stretch you, it don't sharpen you, it don't force you to see who you really are. Struggle though, pain though. That's the professor nobody asks for, but everybody needs. Pain will sit you down in the dirt, strip away your excuses, and show you what you're made of. And if you're smart, you'll listen. The truth is, nobody escapes pain. It's the one classroom every single person has to walk into. Doesn't matter if you're rich or broke, strong or weak, loved or hated. Life's gonna test you, and it don't come with a warning. It hits you in your heart, your mind, your body, your soul. That betrayal you never saw coming. That loss that rips a hole in your chest. That failure that makes you question everything you thought you were. Those moments hurt like hell, but that's where the lessons hide. See, when everything's going good, you don't stop to think. You don't stop to reflect. You don't question what you're doing or who you're becoming. But pain makes you stop, forces you to look in the mirror, to face the flaws you've been running from, to deal with the truth you've been avoiding. Pain don't let you lie to yourself. It exposes you. And in that exposure, in that raw vulnerability, that's where growth is born. Think about betrayal. When somebody you trust stabs you in the back, yeah, it cuts deep. It makes you bleed inside. But what does it teach you? It teaches you not to hand your loyalty to just anybody. It teaches you to value honesty, to appreciate real ones, and to spot fakes before they get too close. That's a lesson you can't buy. You can't read in no book. You learn it through pain. Think about failure. You try, you fall, you hit the ground so hard you can barely breathe. But what does it teach you? It teaches you resilience. It teaches you to get back up, to rethink, to refine, to hustle harder. Success never teaches you persistence. Failure does. Pain and failure is what builds the grit inside you, that voice that says, I will not quit. Think about loss. Losing somebody you love is one of the heaviest pains you'll ever carry. It makes the world feel colder, emptier. But what does it teach you? It teaches you that time is precious. It teaches you not to waste your days on petty things. It teaches you to hold people tighter, to love louder, to live more fully. That's a brutal lesson, but it's real. Pain is the real teacher because it changes you. And you got two choices when it comes. You either let it break you or you let it build you. You either drown in it or you use it as fuel. That's why you see some people who've been through hell and came out unstoppable. They didn't escape the pain. They embraced it. They learned from it. They turned it into power. And you can do the same. But too many people run from pain. They numb it with distractions, drown it with substances, hide from it with fake smiles. They think if they ignore it, it'll go away. But pain don't go away just because you don't face it. It stays. It festers. It grows. The only way out is through. You got to walk into the fire, not around it. You got to let it burn you enough to transform you, but not destroy you. And here's the twist. Once you learn to respect pain, it stops being your enemy. It becomes your ally. It becomes a compass. Every time you feel it, you know you're in the place of growth. You know you're in the middle of transformation. Pain becomes proof that you're alive, that you're moving, that you're evolving. And once you start seeing pain as a teacher, you stop fearing it. You welcome it because you know what it brings. Let me tell you something. Some of the strongest people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who've had it easy. They're the ones who've been crushed, broken, abandoned, and left for dead, but still got up and kept walking. Their scars are their diploma. Their tears are their education. Their resilience is their degree. They ain't strong in spite of pain. They're strong because of it. So don't curse your pain. Don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to handle a hard one. Because comfort never made anybody legendary. Struggle is where greatness is forged. Pressure is where diamonds are made. Fire is where steel is hardened. Pain is going to visit you whether you like it or not. You don't get to choose when, but you do get to choose how you respond. You can collapse or you can rise. You can cry or you can learn. You can quit or you can push through. But never forget, every ounce of wisdom, every drop of strength, every bit of real power you'll ever have in this life, it's born from pain. And the more pain you endure, the more unshakable you become. That's why I say pain is the real teacher. It don't hand out easy lessons. It don't sugarcoat nothing. It teaches you through blood, sweat, and tears. But if you pay attention, if you take the lesson instead of just the suffering, then you'll come out stronger, wiser, and untouchable. So don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Face it. Learn from it. Grow from it. Because at the end of the day, pain is the classroom where warriors are made. Dreams without grind are just bedtime stories. That's the truth nobody likes to hear. Because everybody loves to dream, but not everybody loves to sweat. It's easy to talk about where you're going, easy to post about what you want, easy to say someday. Like it's already written in the stars. But if you ain't ready to bleed for it, if you ain't ready to sacrifice for it, if you ain't ready to put your soul into the grind when nobody's watching, then that dream is just decoration. It looks good on the wall, but it ain't feeding you. See, everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants the spotlight, the success, the recognition. But when the work shows up, when it's time to wake up early, stay up late, put in hours that nobody pays you for, suddenly the room gets empty. Because it's easier to fantasize than to hustle. It's easier to sleep than to sacrifice. That's why so many people live their whole lives talking about what they could have done instead of showing the world what they did. A dream is nothing without work. A dream is nothing without discipline. You could have the biggest vision, the wildest imagination, the most beautiful plan. But if you don't execute, it dies inside you. And dead dreams rot the soul. You'll see it in people's eyes, that quiet regret, that sadness they carry because they never turned their what if into reality. And the grind ain't glamorous. Don't let nobody lie to you about that. The grind is ugly. The grind is waking up tired and doing it anyway. The grind is sacrificing weekends, missing parties, cutting off distractions, saying no to comfort so you can say yes to your future. The grind is lonely. It's those nights when you're the only one still working, still pushing, still hustling while the rest of the world sleeps. It's those mornings when you question yourself, when you wonder if it's worth it, when the doubt creeps in and tries to crush your spirit. But that's the price. That's the toll. And if you ain't willing to pay it, then don't call it a dream, call it a wish. Everybody wishes. Few people grind. That's the separation. That's why some rise and some settle. The dreamers with no discipline, they fade into the background. The ones with vision and execution, they etch their name into history. And here's the cold truth. Nobody's going to grind for you. Nobody's going to wake you up. Nobody's going to drag you out of bed. Nobody's going to push your pen or lift your weights or build your empire for you. This ain't school where somebody holds your hand. This is life. And in life, the grind is personal. You want it. You work for it. Period. Dreams test you. They whisper to you at night, but in the morning they demand proof. And proof comes in the form of sweat. Proof comes when you choose the hard road over the easy one. Proof comes when you keep moving even when the applause is gone, when the motivation dies, when the results ain't showing yet. That's when most people quit. But that's also when the winners are made. People think talent is enough. It ain't. Talent without grind is wasted. The world is full of talented nobodies, full of people who could have been great, but weren't willing to put in the hours. Hard work beats talent every time talent refuses to work hard. That's why hunger matters more than ability. Hunger keeps you moving when ability ain't enough. Hunger keeps you up when your body says quit. Hunger is the fuel that separates legends from the forgotten. And don't think the grind is temporary. Don't think it's just a season you push through and then life gets easy. No. The grind is forever. Success ain't a destination, it's a lifestyle. You don't arrive and then relax. The moment you get comfortable is the moment you start slipping. Champions don't stop training because they won one fight. Hustlers don't stop grinding because they hit one goal. The grind is endless because growth is endless. If you're not growing, you're dying. But let me be real. Grind without vision is wasted energy. Just like dreams without grind are empty, grind without direction is madness. You gotta know why you're pushing, know where you're going, know what you're building. Otherwise, you'll just burn yourself out, chasing nothing. A clear dream with relentless grind, that's unstoppable. You gotta understand that the grind is what gives the dream its value. If it was easy, everybody would have it, and it wouldn't mean nothing. The reason victory feels sweet is because you tasted sweat, tears, maybe even blood on the way there. The reason success feels heavy is because of the weight you had to carry to earn it. Without the grind, the dream ain't worth celebrating. So stop lying to yourself. Stop thinking you can shortcut your way to greatness. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. Motivation is a spark, but grind is the engine. Motivation dies, but discipline don't. Discipline is doing it tired, doing it scared, doing it doubtful, doing it alone. That's how dreams get built. And when you finally reach that moment, when you finally see the vision come alive, when the dream steps out of your imagination and into reality, it hits different. Because you know what it cost. You know the nights you didn't quit. You know the sacrifices nobody saw. And that feeling, that's worth every ounce of grind. So remember this, if you ain't grinding, you ain't dreaming. You're just fantasizing, and fantasies don't feed you. Fantasies don't build legacies. Fantasies don't change the world. Only grind does. So dream big, but grind harder. Death is the only guarantee. That's the one truth nobody can escape. The one appointment nobody can reschedule. You don't know when, you don't know how, but you know it's coming. Every single breath you take it is borrowed time. Every heartbeat is a gift you can't return. That's reality. People like to run from it. Pretend it ain't real, live like tomorrow is promised, but tomorrow don't belong to you. Only this moment does. And if you waste it, you don't get it back. That's why life is too short to live scared, too short to live fake, too short to live small. You're walking on borrowed time. So what are you doing with it? Are you spending it hiding, waiting, hesitating? Or are you spending it living, loving, building, fighting for something that matters? Because when your name gets called, it won't matter how many excuses you had. It won't matter how afraid you were. It won't matter what you meant to do. All that matters is what you actually did. People spend their whole lives chasing comfort, chasing approval, chasing things they can't take with them. Cars rust. Money fades. Fame disappears. None of it rides with you to the grave. The only thing that lives after you is your impact, your words, your love, your legacy. So why waste years playing small just to fit in? Why waste energy living a life that ain't even yours? Death don't care about your reputation. Death don't care about your possessions. Death only asks one question, did you live? That's why fear is a joke. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of losing. It don't mean nothing when you remember the end. Death levels the playing field. The rich, the poor, the bold, the timid. We all leave. So why let fear keep you from speaking your truth? Why let doubt keep you from chasing your dream? Why let comfort keep you trapped in mediocrity? Every second you hesitate, death is creeping closer. So the real question is, are you wasting time or are you making it count? And don't get me wrong, death is heavy. Losing someone you love is one of the hardest pains you'll ever carry. It rips something out of you that never fully heals. But even in that, there's a lesson. Death teaches you to appreciate the living. It teaches you to stop holding grudges, stop delaying. I love you. Stop waiting for the right time. The right time is now. Tomorrow ain't promised. The person you ignore today might not be here tomorrow. The hug you hold back, the forgiveness you refuse to give, the dream you keep postponing, you might never get another chance. That's why I say live loud, live bold, live real. Speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Love people so hard they feel it when you leave the room. Chase that dream even if it looks impossible, because impossible is better than regret. Regret is poison. It eats you alive while you're still breathing. And nothing stings worse than reaching the end and realizing you never really lived. See, people think the worst thing in life is death. It ain't. The worst thing is dying without ever being alive. The worst thing is having breath in your lungs but no fire in your soul. The worst thing is surviving instead of living, existing instead of thriving, being remembered for nothing. Death itself ain't the tragedy, it's dying empty, dying unknown even to yourself, dying with dreams still locked inside you. That's the tragedy. But here's the truth, you get to choose. Every morning you wake up, you get to choose whether you're going to waste that gift or use it. You get to choose whether you'll stay scared or step up. You get to choose whether you'll keep waiting for a perfect moment or create one. Death is guaranteed, but how you live before it comes, that's in your hands. So don't wait. Don't wait to start that project, to tell that person you care, to walk away from what's killing your spirit, to chase what sets your soul on fire. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for support. Don't wait for the right conditions. You don't control time. You only control action. Do it now, because one day later won't exist. And understand this, death gives life its value. If we lived forever, nothing would matter. But because it ends, every second matters. Because it ends, every kiss, every laugh, every tear, every victory, it all means something. Death is the shadow that makes the light brighter. It's the reminder that your story ain't infinite, so you better make the chapters count. One day your name is going to be spoken for the last time. One day your face is just going to be a memory. One day people are going to look at your life and ask, what did they stand for? What did they leave behind? That's why you got to live in a way that answers those questions. Leave behind strength, love, courage, impact. Leave behind a story that inspires, not a silence that disappears. Death is the only guarantee, but that's not something to fear. That's something to use. It's the reason to go harder, the reason to live bolder, the reason to stop wasting time. Every breath is one step closer to the end, but it's also one chance closer to greatness. Don't waste it. Don't play with it. Don't take it for granted. Live like you know the clock is ticking. Love like you know the goodbye is coming. Work like you know the window is closing. And when death finally knocks, let it find you empty. Because you gave everything, you lived fully, you left nothing undone.